Alrighty, y'all. So, out here getting our cardio done. And oh man, it is a nice morning this morning. It's like partly cloudy, 68-ish, 69 degrees right now. Slight little breeze. Perfect. To me, anything between like 66 and like 72. It's just about perfect weather. But we did leg day yesterday, and with that, we are definitely a bit sore. We did calves, quads, hamstrings. They are a little toasty and tender, especially the calves. They responded very well, very freaking well to the change in training technique for those. So, that massive positive. So now we are going to do chest today. So we failed 265. So today we're shooting for 260. We're going to make sure we can knock out our minimum 3x3, but shooting for 3x5s. So that is on today's agenda. I've also got my sorry, I'm distracted. They're doing a open house at this house around the corner from me. But boy, oh boy, has the housing market out here become inflated. It's crazy. But the chest program today, everything else will be the same. But since we failed the 265, there's no reason to try to attempt it again since it's literally only a rep on the first set. So we know we're definitely not ready for that, even if it was just a bad day. So 260 it will be. And then depending upon how that goes, we'll determine if we go to 265 next week. So we looking forward to that though. Love good chest pump. But I've got to get this video edited pretty quick today. And after I get that done, I gotta go work on the pool. How's it going? Oh, going along. That we can't. We woke up, right? I mean, if you're on the internet, enough people will listen to you.
But that'll feed the bad, though.
Oh, it does.
If you're negative, it feeds all the negative.
Yeah, that's why the world is so crazy today.
Have a great day.
You too. You too, little pups. But, so, neighbor's out here walking her two adorable freaking German Shepherds. Jesus. But we getting on back to the house here. We're gonna go ahead and get our stuff done because I got a few extra things I need to get done today. Like I was trying to say, got to get the pool cleaned back up and then get it covered up and ready for winter. I've got some ponds in the backyard that I've got to pump out, clean, and then refill. Get those things going so they're not giant mosquito baths. And then we got to get around to chest day. So I will see y'all later when I go to get out into the gym to knock out chest. So we were going to go for 260 for reps, but kind of feel like just hitting some 1 rep stuff.
So we're going to go ahead and move up today to 275. See if we can knock this rep out. If we can, sweet. We'll call that our current 1 rep. And if it moves easy enough, we might try to move up again, but I'll probably be fairly taxed after this rep. But let's give it a shot, see what happens here. Felt pretty easy. I think we're going to have to try to move up. I should have went up higher. All right, well, we'll go for 295 on the next rep. See what happens. All right, 295. Let's hit this shit. Lightweight. This is nothing. So, now that we hit 295, took a little break. Now we're going to go ahead and knock out like 2 sets, 185, just for some reps to get a little volume in, push a little blood into the chest, get a little extra stimulant there other than just the sheer overload. And then we'll go into incline dumbbell presses. So, I'll hit one more set of 5, just nice and slow, just like that. And then we'll hit the dumbbells. Incline dumbbell presses. So, we're going to hit these for like 3 sets. 10 to 12 is what we're shooting for here, for some volume. Ooh. 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 Woo. Boy, oh boy. Man. I am freaking stoked right now that we just put up 295. Especially after last week we fell 260 at 1 rep, or 1.5 reps. We just must have had a way off day. But then again, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I had my cheat meal, my like refeed meal yesterday for like breakfast / lunch, more or less. So I kind of ate my 11 o'clock and my 3 o'clock meal both at around noon. So, well, calorie wise. So I only had 2 meals yesterday instead of technically 3, but calorically I ate an entire day. So we probably feeling a little extra strong today because we got in our red meat meal yesterday, which makes a big difference in the way I feel. It's really hard eating chicken, 4 or 5 days in a row and then getting that red meat meal in. So I definitely can't wait for here in, 5 more days? Yeah, today's 115. So day 120, we do our physique check-in on where we've progressed in the last 30 days. So we're going to check body fat percentage, all that stuff, body weight, morning of 120. And then we'll go ahead and see what the physique's looking like. And then we're going to go ahead and transition diet-wise to currently maintain where we're at so we can get some of our stamina and energy back. And really start pushing towards getting a lot more volume back in, since the exercises have decreased quite a bit. And volume-wise, they've all gone from 5 sets down to 3 sets. And from starting out at like 15 reps, going down to like 12 and 10 and 8. Just because of the fact we don't have enough caloric intake to fuel our workouts. So the fact that I'm still pushing up big numbers is awesome right now, because I'm doing this in a deficit, which doesn't go along very well with trying to put on tons of strength. So that means, one, my central nervous system's working very, very well currently, because I'm able to fire all the muscle available to myself, as well as I'm getting just enough calories in to fuel like that big compound lift and then be cooked for the rest of the workout. Like the rest of it kind of suffers because I am doing that. So especially my back day, because I pulled 420, the rest of today's chest day is going to feel like crap because I just went ahead and benched 295, but we're getting there. So the biggest benefit to getting to change the diet back up and kind of cruise for probably 45 to 60 days and just kind of maintain and get into that maintenance calorie zone is leg training is going to benefit greatly from it. Our arm day is going to benefit greatly from it, and our shoulder day. So the rest for like back and chest, those 2 days will basically kind of maintain about where we are now, put on a little bit of strength. But I can definitely, kind of like I want to hit those volume sets now at that like 260, 265, and slowly start getting that back and moving back up. And that overall is going to get us really close to 315 just by getting that lower, that 50 pounds less volume up. So, and it's going to prep our elbows and our shoulders and our pecs to have all that load on it. So, because as you do move up in these exercises, you got to think, it's not just the muscle that has to be ready for it. Your joints have to be ready for it, the ligaments have to be ready for it, tendons have to be ready for it, central nervous system has to be ready for it. Like, if you're just training a bunch of volume, you can't go and just hit like a crazy 1 rep max, because your central nervous system isn't used to having to fire at that like 100% level. So you end up having, kind of transition out of doing a lot of volume to a little less volume and keep incrementing the weight upwards as you take away some of the volume to get it ready to just slam that 1 rep. So luckily I work more on the compound lifts and more of a powerlifter style than I do for bodybuilding hypertrophy training, which it's good, but it's also bad because I want to put on size. Hypertrophy gives you size. Bodybuilding, or should I say powerlifting training, kind of builds more denser, stronger muscle tissue than it does larger, fluffy muscle tissue. So there's a trade-off there, but I do quite a bit of volume after the heavy compound lifts. So am I getting the most for powerlifting? No. Am I getting the most for bodybuilding? No. But I'm working in a sweet spot to where I'm making the progress that I want to make. So I am getting stronger and I am getting larger and more defined as I go through this process. So as long as everything keeps going up, I'm not worried about how efficient my training is per se towards either goal, as long as progress is happening. So when that stops, that's when we'll have to reflect, kind of review and change our style of training some to either commit to one side or the other at a time. But, you know, if you can move a lot of weight and then start working on adding volume in at the heavier weights, in my mind, you're going to be able to add more muscle tissue faster for the size portion to it because you can work at a heavier stressor. Now, I mean, obviously that heavier stressor creates more deterioration on your joints and your ligaments and your tendons. So there's going to be a fine point of being too heavy and pulling it back just enough to keep all that strength while building volume. So, because you're not going to, you know, work at your 1 rep max for freaking bodybuilding. That isn't what you do. So, but if you can keep pushing your 1 rep up a little bit over time, eventually that 1 rep will become your 5 rep, and then that 5 rep will become your 10 rep. And then, you know, freaking your 1 rep max might not climb all that much when you start focusing on that, but you're going to retain that initial strength. So my overall goal is to only bench 315 and then just start adding volume around that point. I don't want to bench 405. I don't want to bench 500 pounds. So, one, it's a big risk to injury. You know, I'm not trying to tear a freaking pec. And, you know, same with like deadlifts. I have a pretty aggressive deadlift goal, which in the grand scheme of things, you know, deadlifts aren't very beneficial for what I want. But I want to pull 500 pounds once. And then once I pull that shit, I ain't fucking deadlifting that heavy ever again. 405 will forever be my max. So there's no reason to deadlift like that because I'm not competing in powerlifting, and heavy deadlifts don't benefit bodybuilding. So, and then squat wise, I want to try to get to like a 315 squat eventually, but more or less right now my goal is just to literally squat 225 again and then start adding volume at 225 until I can just hit sets of it. So I would be happy at being able to squat 225 for like 5 by 10 as like an overall goal. And then at that point I might be able to do like 315 for like 1 or 2 reps. But I'm not set on continuously squatting heavy like that. So I do want to get my squat up some though, because I do want to hit the 1,000 pound club again. And I'm pretty close to it actually. So with that 420 deadlift, my 295 bench now, that would be 620, 715 is the two exercise total right there. And then I add my squat of, I did 215 yesterday. So that would put me at 930. So I'm 70 pounds away from being back in the 1,000 pound club. So that 70 pounds I can make. So I need to add 20 more to my bench. And then if I add, 50 pounds to my squat and hit a freaking 265 squat, that'll put me back at 1,000 pounds. So, because I do want to get back to that again. It is a super fucking awesome goal to be able to reach. I've been to 1,000 pounds, and I've almost have gotten to 1,200 pounds. So that too is also a crazy freaking achievement. The 1,200 pound club is way harder than the 1,000 pound club. So even though it's only 200 pounds, that 20% extra is a big freaking difference. But I'm gonna hit my next 2 sets of these, then we're gonna move on to cable flies. Alrighty, y'all. So now that we're done with those incline dumbbell presses, now we're gonna go ahead and move into decline cable flies. And then we're gonna get on out of here, because I am feeling freaking cooked. So I'm gonna do 3 more sets of those. Then I'm gonna get out of here. My chest, freaking tired. Triceps, beat. Wrist, left wrist, little sore. But it happens though from any heavy pressing I'm doing, or those real heavy deadlifts. This wrist is just a little wimp these days. So, downside's of breaking your arm. Is what it is. But we worked through it. So, we getting things freaking going again. Feels good to move a bunch of weight. So, I'm definitely excited though. Tomorrow, shoulders. A little bit lighter day. Shoulder day is always hard for me though. My left shoulder's just weak. Don't know why. So, it's not that the weights are super heavy, just the amount of effort I have to put into just moving the light weight feels dumb. But I do like a good shoulder pump. So, with that, I'm gonna get these finished up and get on out of here. So make sure you guys are working towards your goals, you're getting your stuff done, and most of all, don't be a lazy fuck.